So there's this wild new trend that's basically reinventing the rules of software development. It's called vibe coding, and it's turning plain English into the world's fastest growing programming language. Let's dig in and see what that's all about.
I mean, just think about that for a second. No crazy syntax, no super steep learning curve. You just describe what you want, and an app starts to appear. And look, this isn't some far-off sci-fi dream. This is what's happening right now.
Yeah, that's Andrej Karpathy, one of OpenAI's co-founders. He actually coined the term vibe coding earlier this year. He talked about it as this experience where you just fully give in to the vibes and kind of forget the code even exists. It's just a totally different way of thinking about how we create things.
And this, right here, this just nails the impact. What used to take a whole team of 10 people half a year to build can now be done by one person in less than a week. This isn't just some small productivity hack, you guys. We are talking about a fundamental change in how we innovate. It's shifting from the team to the individual.
Okay, so how in the world does this actually work? Because this isn't just about AI helping you write code a little faster. No, this is about changing the actual language of creation.
So, at its heart, vibe coding is really just a conversation. You describe your idea, you let the AI's suggestions kind of steer the project without getting bogged down in code reviews, and you just trust it to handle the heavy lifting. Basically, English becomes your programming language. It's that simple.
Now, this whole revolution didn't just pop up overnight. It's been building for more than a decade, really. It started with those early no-code tools that let people build apps visually. Then things sped up with AI breakthroughs, which gave us tools like GitHub Copilot, the AI assistant that suggests code, and then boom, Cursor's Composer hits the scene, and that's when vibe coding really exploded.
Which brings us to the boom. The way people have adopted this technology has been at a scale and speed that is just, well, it's staggering. Let's just throw some numbers out there because they're pretty wild.
Get this, these vibe coding tools, they're already pulling in over $100 million in annual revenue, and they're doing it in just a few months.
And it's not just a niche thing. Here in the US, a staggering 92% of developers are already using these AI tools every single day. It's just part of the job now.
And if you look at where this is all going, you have experts like the CEO of Anthropic saying that pretty soon, as much as 90% of all code will be generated by AI. Our job is changing. We're not the ones typing every line anymore. We're the directors, the editors.
So who's actually behind all this crazy growth? Well, it's probably not who you think. The new power users are entrepreneurs, marketers, product managers, designers, basically people with amazing ideas who before didn't have the technical chops to build them.
And make no mistake, this is a global thing. The Asia-Pacific region is actually leading the charge, with India alone making up almost 17% of all users. That's driven by their huge developer community and this amazing entrepreneurial spirit. But this might be the most important number of all. Nearly 2/3 of the people who are vibe coding aren't traditional developers. That's all the proof you need that the old barriers to building stuff, they're just crumbling away.
But okay, all this speed, all this power, it comes with a pretty big catch. When you move this fast, you can break things. And in the software world, breaking things can mean, massive security breaches.
This quote from Lee Robinson at Cursor AI, he just hits the nail on the head. The whole point of vibe coding is that you skip the old safety checks, the code reviews, the security testing. You're trusting the AI. And the thing is, AI writes code that works. It doesn't necessarily write code that's secure.
I mean, the path from a cool idea to a full-blown data breach is shockingly fast. You have an idea, AI spits out the code in minutes, you deploy it, and because you skipped all the security steps, bam, you could have a data breach almost immediately. The speed is its greatest strength and its biggest weakness.
And you know what? We're seeing the same rookie mistakes pop up again and again. AI has a habit of leaving secret API keys out in the open. It'll create databases that are totally public. And sometimes, it'll even hard code passwords right into the app for anyone to find.
So, if we can't expect everyday users, a lot of whom have zero security training, to spot these security holes, then what do? Well, the answer is we have to build a safer future for this tech.
The answer is actually really simple, but it's a big one. The responsibility has to be on the platforms themselves. If a product lets a user deploy insecure code without any warning, that's a failure of the product, period.
So if you're thinking about jumping into one of these tools, here's what you got to look for, okay? Does it automatically scan for and block
bad code? Is it built to be secure from the ground up? And does it have emergency controls like a kill switch to shut a project down instantly if something goes wrong?
So all of this means the job of developer is fundamentally changing. The source material calls it the great flattening. The focus isn't so much on knowing the perfect syntax anymore, it's shifting to bigger picture skills. The developer of the future, they're less of a mechanic and more of an architect, an orchestrator of AI, and that could open up tech to so many more people.
And Simon Willison's quote here really sums up why this is such a huge deal. Vibe coding is just demolishing the biggest obstacle in software, which has always been that super steep learning curve. It's making it possible for anyone to create.
Okay, so what does the future hold? Well, there are a few ways this could go. On one hand, you've got the super optimistic view where vibe coding becomes the standard even for huge companies. Then there's the more conservative take, where it's mostly just for prototypes. But the most likely outcome? It's probably somewhere in the middle. AI assistance will just become a normal, everyday part of all coding tools, kind of like spell check is today.
So here's the bottom line. This vibe coding transformation is happening whether we're ready or not. The choice isn't if we adopt it, but how. The question for all of us really is simple. Are you going to embrace this revolution, with the right safety nets in place, of course, or are you just going to sit back and watch other people build the future?